Well, that's one, and that's the game over. For House's ending. So let's choose Betray. Okay, so this was a lock. Okay, so if we hadn't gone through, I believe, this section. No, which one had the laboratory? Yeah, this section, then we wouldn't find out about it. Okay, so let's go back and choose Betray, because that is messed up. I wonder if she'll be there this time. Just like... that is just weird, messed up, and... But then I stepped out of the AB room.
Why? What happened to it's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting? I thought...
There was nothing I could think of to say. Even though I didn't really understand why I picked Betray instead. It almost felt unconscious. Like some other part of my mind was making the decision. Yeah, it was my mind. It is the black guy in your head telling, hey, betray that nigga, betray him. Or like, betray that bitch, betray her. Yeah, fuck her. like she betrayed you before. Now it's time for payback. Betray her, kill her. Perhaps I've been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that moved my finger to the betray button against my will. Yeah, that evil spirit is me. Me power Jusho. Yeah. Right. Well, we should see the results.
Really? We already know what they are.
Not really.
It's just simple math.
No, not really. The look in her eyes was more painful than any punch I had ever taken. I turned away and almost ran toward the projector, anything to get away from those eyes.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Betray. Frickin' how? Everyone betrayed each other. Wow. You know, we said, oh hey, let's choose ally. Just like Ken Clover promised that we'll ally each other, right? Right. With like their with their fingers crossed behind their back. Dio said, oh, I won't choose ally because you only have 1 BP, so I'm gonna spare your life and we'll just get 2 BP each, right? And for us, we thought Alice was gonna choose ally because she wasn't in the room. But for some reason, somehow, she ended up in the AB rooms without Tenmyoji noticing or coming out and like saying something as soon as we got out of the AB rooms. But like we chose Betray and just
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, run my eyes, and looked again. No. How can Al's vote be betray? That's not possible. Alice? She was standing inside the second room from the left. The room that should have been empty. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where did she come from? As I was trying to form a sentence, she began to move towards us. From around me, I heard a chorus of muttered gasps. It seemed we were united in our surprise and confusion. Alice drew to a stop in front of me and glanced up at the display.
Thought you'd get an easy couple points, huh?
But why the frick did you betray? Even at the other time, why did you betray? Why?
Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it? Coward.
Me? A coward? You got some balls saying that to me after you picked betray. Why are you even here?
You gave me the antivirus, didn't you? Tenmyoji told me. Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly.
Sure. And you betray that nigga. Like fuck over. He gonna die. I don't give a fuck if he gave me the antivirus. I'm gonna betray him. He's gonna die, and I don't care. I'm gonna get out of here. I don't care if I'm gonna kill someone. I'm gonna get out of here, even though he saved my life. I'm gonna kill him and get out of here.
You should still be under the effects of the anesthetic.
Yes, well, I still am. A bit. I have a throbbing headache, and I can barely stand. It's horrible. I'm more resistant to anesthetics than most people. A result of my training. I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that. They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary. Tenmyoji explained what was going on, and I got here as fast as I could.
So you showed up right after we got into the AB rooms?
Yes. Right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall.
You did that just so you could betray us?
Right. What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it? You two chose betray. If I'd stayed back there, I'd have lost 2 points.
Oh yeah, and if we chose an ally, you would have killed Sigma!
So you're saying it was self-defense?
No!
Yes.
You're full of shit. Self-defense my ass. You chose betray because you want out. You had 6 BP. If I picked ally, you would have 9. That's what you were trying to do, right?
So what if I was?
Are you serious? You would have killed me. Look, I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were playing to kill me so you could escape.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose betray. There was...
Tell the truth.
That is the truth.
Bull. Nah, it was self-defense. You would still survived. You would still survive. You could just let us have the betray, and you would still have survived. With 3, wait, she has 6. You would still have 4. We would be at even playing field. Sigma would have 4. You would have 4, and Luna would have what? She's at 6 now, 8. Or something. I don't even freaking remember.
Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here? Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone.
I gotta calm down because, like, I was kind of taking this a bit personal. Just like, like you were trying to kill me. I'm not taking that. But fine deal.
Yes. If If Dio had chosen Ally, Phi would have killed Tenmyoti.
But what reason for her to choose betray? The only reason she would choose betray. Actually, there wouldn't be no reason for both of them to choose betray. If they both chose an ally, they would have gotten 2 points, and Dio would be at 7, Phi would be at 3. So, what was the point of choosing betray? Just getting a 3 would have Dio at 8. And that's not close enough to, and that's not enough to get out of the door.
And if she'd chosen Ally, Dio would have killed her.
I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another. Not that
After
it
they
seems to have
promised
worked.
each other.
If either one had chosen Ally, the other one would have 9 BP right now.
I turned to look at the results again. Before, I only been looking at my own. I didn't realize that there was only one word across the roster: betray. Whatever trust we managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs? Or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. We'd be trapped in a circle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright guys, pay attention. You probably already all figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never gonna get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking to a wall.
My apologies, Sigma, but I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone.
Kay.
I'll be leaving too. Things are getting a little too intense here for my delicate constitution. Sorry.
Dio.
Well, in that case...
At 2-5.
Yeah, sorry.
Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Kai quickly followed suit.
See? There's your answer. In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves. So I would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here.
I'm still raging at you because, like, seriously, you had no reason to betray us. You had no reason. You had no reason. That self-defense thing, no, you were gonna kill me. That self-defense thing, no. You had no reason to betray. The other, okay. Clover and Kay, yes, because they were at 6 points each and they wanted to get out. Dio, well, we all knew that he's gonna choose betray. And like, besides that one round, every other round he chose betray. So, and Phi never trusted him, so there's that.
Come on, Clover. Let's go.
Hold on! I'm coming!
Like, I feel like this game has like the most unlikable character, like in the game. Like you can sort of say some people like might not like Phi because of her basically straightforwardness, I guess, and like her cold expressions. People might not like Dio because like Like he's deceptive, all of that. And how about Alice, of course, basically like lying while like saying, "Oh hey, there's self-defense and all that."
Are you feeling okay? I was really worried, you know?
I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with delight to have Alice back. Before long, they reached the yellow door and disappeared beyond it.
Everyone's gone.
You aren't going to leave too?
No.
Are you sure? I chose Betray.
I know. But I still believe in you, Sigma. I think your hand must have just slipped or something.
And let me just check, because I think this is like the only timeline where we chosen Betray and it actually continues on with the story. Yeah, like, I actually know. This is the second. This was the Betray. So, yeah, this is the second time where it actually advances the story.
Right?
My chest hurt, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corners of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumbling of the doors closing echoed through the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the Star keys. The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
As many times as we want, huh?
Yes, as long as we have the star keys. That means we can keep playing the AB game over and over, too. Sigma, could you show me your bracelet?
Why?
Do you remember what Zero Jr. said?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The parent solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, I remembered. Let's see here. I'm a cyan pair. What about you?
I'm a magenta pair.
I wonder what the others are.
It could be anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
We got about 80 minutes until the next set of command doors open. So, what should we do now?
Everyone else has gone off on their own.
Yeah. Physically and emotionally. I really don't like how this is going. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AB games if nobody trusts anybody else. We'll never be able to get out of here.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal. Something to unite our hearts and minds.
The common goal here is for us to get 9 BP. But it's also the same as everyone else having their individual goal of having 9 BP before anybody else, just to escape. Like, the primary goal is to escape. The sub-goal is to get 9 BP. And what's blocking that is that everyone else is thinking of themselves and just wants to get out before everybody else. That's the thing. Yeah, but we already got something like that. Yeah, we all want to get out of here. That seems like a pretty clear goal to me. Including me.
Well, what if we have an enemy?
The enemy is Zero.
Yes.
An enemy?
A common foe. Like the person who set the bombs, for instance.
Or Zero? After coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb while she gave Alice and Quark the accelerator. Yeah, that might work. If we can figure out which one of us planted those bombs, then everyone else would work together against them.
Right.
But how do we figure out who is?
Well, do you have any clues?
Clues, huh? That's right. The memory card. I pulled it out of my pocket and held it out toward her.
What's this?
I told you, a memory card. It was under the bomb when we found it in the lab. I think whoever set the bomb dropped it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what's on it though. We couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
Oh, I guess we can't really use it then. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something.
Huh?
Yes, I remember. The infirmary. I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with Theo and Quark. There was a memory card just like that one.
Then
Yes! I think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be able to read it.
oh. Lure and I exploded into the infirmary, nearly running into Alice, Clover, and Tenmyoji. Quark was there as well, of course, but he was just as we left him, asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
I opened my mouth to retort, then I thought better of it. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, well, real change starts at home. As quickly as I could, I explained the second bomb and the memory card, and how we come to infirmary in hopes that we could discover the contents of the latter.
Okay.
Then stick it in already!
I'll stick it in somewhere else.
Go ahead.
Right. Just as Luna had said, there was a small slot underneath the screen, exactly the right size to fit a memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with appeared to be random letters. What is this?
6 rows, 22 letters each.
It looks like the odd rows use one set of letters, and the even rows use another set.
And it looks like they are repeating. Yeah, they're just repeating. I'm just trying to look at my notes to just see if it's something. No.
In other words, the first 2 rows just repeat. Yeah.
Is this some kind of code or something? You know what, just in case I want to write this down. I don't have the frickin' pen. Ugh. Pen, where are you? Here's a pen. I shall write down these, the 2 rows of letters, just in case. So Q J H N M T E O N E. Well, I see 1 there. R A X D F M I O V P. And the second row, B Y O L W X Y P X S V Z E Q G T K R T L E D. Okay.
It doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern. I just don't know what it is.
Well, I see 1, and I see lead, but don't know about any others.
Was there anything else on there? No, it doesn't look like it.
So, all we get is this gibberish. Hey, Alex, you haven't said anything for a while. What's up?
Does any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
What do you mean?
Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
Training?
This is...
So you do recognize it.
All right, knock it off, you two. How about you share it with the rest of the class?
Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization.
What?
They call themselves the Myrmidons.
Ah, Myrmidons comes back. Myrmidons. For some reason, I felt like I heard that name before. Because we have!
What are the Myrmidons?
Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
So this thing we're looking at... You think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I do think this is one of them.
Then the bomb? It was said by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Damn, I have a ton of questions for you. But let me start with this one. What the heck does that thing say?
I don't know.
What?
How am I supposed to decode it? I don't have the key. Without a key, it would take literally hundreds of years to decode.
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
See...
Not much we can do then. We can come back to that code stuff later. I got another question. Alice, Clover, who the hell are you? Why do you know about this code?
That's...
You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the stairs, something like that. Just what the hell kind of job is that? I think it's time you told us what you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Why not?
Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
That's idiotic! Of course I'm not.
And where's your proof? For all I know, you're my enemy. I can't tell you anything.
Do you have proof that I did it? Huh? Do you? Huh? I'm not your enemy. I'm your... ally. And then she's gonna come back so like, really? Then why did you betray me? I'm your friend. I just want all of us to get out of here. Just please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can all escape. But we have too little information. We need your help. Fine. If you won't tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
I'm sorry.
Before I could blink, she left up and ran out of the room. Hey, wait! Alice! I took off after her.
How long are you going to keep following me?
Until you tell me what you know.
Then why don't you just ask Clover?
Clover?
You already know she works with me.
Well, yeah.
Then why don't you...
I want to hear from you.
Why?
That's a good question. Remember the crew quarters? Or this garden? We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means I spent more time with you than anybody else here. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you.
What are you talking about?
She spun around to hide it, but I caught her blush of red on cheeks. How can you friggin' tell? We walked down the path to where it ended next to the pond. I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface of the pond for several long minutes before she began to speak.
You don't hate me?
What? Why?
I tried to kill you.
See? You mean the AB game?
Yes. I was so scared. Who wouldn't be? Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you mean?
I remember hearing that Quark had collapsed and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying. And everything looked... I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward, only it was real. Then I started to feel like... It's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
That was probably the Radical 6.
Yes, I think so. I don't remember much after that. But when I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back. So all I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could. It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you. God help me, even if it had, I don't think I would have cared. See? I'm horrible. You hate me, don't you?
A little bit.
Just do it!
What? Do what?
Kill me! Get it over with!
What the hell, Alice? I'm not gonna kill you. I don't even hate you.
You're lying! I could have killed you. I would have killed you.
Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheeks. Then another and another, leaving a shining line across her face. When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off. taking her tears with it.
Why are you doing this? You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
That's who you were after, right? People who killed your dad?
Yes.
Did they have anything to do with the Myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
Come on.
If you keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you what you want to know. About myself, and about the Myrmidons. Deal?
Sure. My lips are sealed.
Really?
What crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. Alright then.
Prepare yourselves for the long text. Alice took a deep breath and began. Oh boy. Where's my water? I'm gonna need it. Got myself my gallon water. About to pour myself some into a cup. Pouring on water. Gotta prepare the throat. Okay, bombs up. Okay, let's go. My father is Egyptian, but my mother is French. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation, and married shortly thereafter. When I was 3, we all moved to the US. My father was a scientist, and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which was why we moved. Both of my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. My father had always been a punctual man, and when their time came, and when no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly tough for her, as a single mother alone in the country where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and in every line of her face I could see exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I miss my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did especially well in math. I earned a Fulbright scholarship straight out of high school and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Internal Security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons, although at the time, that name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. The Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now, alas, I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Luft. We now know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or age. The Myrmidons are closely associated with the cult known as Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding, but trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult's leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. Brother is supposed to be fairly advanced in years, and rumors say he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seemed to be as sharp as ever. At that point, I hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. Then, one day, I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. I headed out immediately. On the way there, my car had some engine trouble and stalled out. I still don't understand why she was in this getup. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess who was behind the steering wheel. Clover. That was the first time we met. There were 4 other people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, I got what I was just about the last answer I expected. They told me they'd been locked up inside the very building I've been on my way to investigate, and that they were currently in the pursuit of the people who had kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find people they were chasing, who I was certain were Myrmidons. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, I took Clover and her company to SOIS headquarters. We decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was connected to Free the Soul. There was also a 6th person in the SUV, although they weren't riding it per se. A middle-aged man, who I'll call H, had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other 4, he had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years earlier. We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player on the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. More specifically, I suppose H was a member of Free the Soul and very committed to their cause. So why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently, it had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people to access what's called the morphogenetic field. I don't imagine you ever heard of it before, so I'll try to give you a quick rundown. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows the consciousness to resonate with the consciousness of a certain other people. To be honest, it might be simpler to just call it telepathy. The SOIS had heard this particular ability before and actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by members of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thoughts of him discovering a new way to control and harness that power was terrifying. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time, it was claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. My bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with a threat that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she had been test subject in H's experiment, we knew she had the ability to access the morphogenetic field, and we wanted to put that ability to use. After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. She would be tasked with the infiltration and investigation of a Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hope that our investigation might have also given me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last, I had a chance to find out what happened to him. I wouldn't let the chance pass me by. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. The lab was fake, and Clover was captured almost immediately. I got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All of the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last, in the basement room, I found her. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to his body, his body was already cold. It was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned he had died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, a Myrmidon in the mask had come to visit her. He said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters at SYS to do likewise. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they killed him. Perhaps they thought they were sending a message to me, or that once he was gone, I lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had at least been able to save her. Sometime later, I received a call from the coroner. He told me that there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on the steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arm were 2 rows of numbers comprised of 8s and 9s. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. On his chest was another message, but they were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice. I broke down crying right there in the morgue. They were the first tears I shed since the operation had started, and there were no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness. Not for the monsters who put my father through this. They destroyed my family. I would make them pay, even if I had to die to do it. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written were latitude and longitude. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would have turned out. Knowing he was going to die, he ran the directions to our enemy's fortress on his own body. He sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time, our preparation would succeed. This time, I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover or any of my agents in danger. So we took our time. We gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidon stronghold. But then, on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in a mask appeared